Good morning. I have a story for you. Bear with me on this one. So many years ago, I had a client. When I first started doing selling digital print, I had a client in kind of eastern Massachusetts, and a very good relationship with the buyer there, and also the technical writer, the person who was creating the content for these software manuals. And what they used to do was they print up these manuals and they would put them in 3-ring binders, and they would print up 15,000 of several different versions. So along comes digital print, back when we called it on-demand print. It was early 90s. And a very young sales rep named Bill Farquharson goes in and says, hey, look at the virtues of this. We don't have to print up 15,000. In fact, with your next release, let's try it. And the technical writer was on board. It was great. It was about this time of year, actually. We were rushing to get the job done, and we didn't know the page count. We knew that we were going to print up 100 of these manuals, but that's it. We didn't know the page count, and I think we had the covers printed, but anyway, we didn't have enough information to go over to come up with an actual price. So I said to the buyer, here's where it is. I need a PO to get the job in the door. You're shipping at the end of the month. This is crunch time. And the buyer, whose name was Joanne Mills, said to me, all right, Bill, I'm going to give you a PO. Just don't take advantage of the situation. You put the price in and let me know what it is, but don't take advantage of it. So fine. So the job ships the last day of March. And the very next day I was in Boston, and I was having a meeting with my then partner, Len Peterson, wonderful, wonderful man. And my phone rings. And I look down, and it's Joanne, the buyer from this company. And I said, hello. And she said, I'm not paying your price. I said, excuse me? She said, the price went from $15 a book. Price went from $3 a book up to $15 a book. And that's outrageous, and I'm not paying it. And in that moment, I vividly remember the terror of this whole thing, the conversation that we had. And yet I thought to myself, substantiate this. Justify the price increase. So I started talking about how digital print, the advantages, and you can't compare the two, and what we were getting and what we were giving and all this other stuff. And I drew a breath and I hear giggling. And I'm really confused. I said, Joanne, are you laughing? She said, Bill, relax. Happy April Fool's Day. Remember, we shipped the job at the end of March. Well, like today, was April Fool's Day. And I'll never forget this, because she said, I got to tell you a funny story. She said, you're the fourth salesperson that I called. I decided just to have some fun with the first one. And as a joke, I said, I'm not paying your price. And he immediately said, well, how about if I give you a discount? And she said, I was aghast. So I thought, this is crazy. So I called another rep and challenged her price. And she said, I'll give you a discount. And she said, I'm going to keep calling salespeople until someone stands their ground. And she said, you're the fourth rep that I called, and the first one to stand his ground. And it was a lesson that I never forgot. And here's the lessons for you. Once you give a price, it's game over. If you can't justify the price, you are going to lower the price. That's your only other option. You have to understand the value that you are bringing. Because the answer to the question, is that your best price, must be yes. Has to be yes. So anyway, long-winded story, one of my favorites for this day. I think about Joanne every single time we have April Fool's Day, and how funny that was. And I carry that lesson forever, and now it's a lesson for you. Have a great selling week, and I'll talk to you next week.